Minister of Finance Mohammed Maid announced that 1.1 billion Egyptian pounds will be provided to the General Authority for Supply Commodities and the Agricultural Bank of Egypt as an advance payment under the account for financing the purchase of the local wheat crop. According to a statement by the ministry, the sum will be used to pay the dues of farmers who supply wheat. The statement explained that the decision comes in implementation of presidential directives to facilitate the use of local wheat. Maid said that the Ministry of Finance is following up in coordination with the Ministries of Supply and Internal Trade on the position of the daily supply of local wheat, ensuring that funds are provided for financing the purchase of local wheat immediately. He added that the state's general budget was able to deal positively and flexibly with the current global economic crisis, pointing out that there is a top priority to meet the basic needs of citizens and to sustain the strategic stock of wheat under the current exceptional situation of the global economy. In the same context, Minister of Supply and Internal Trade Ali Musalhi earlier on Friday confirmed that the Central Operations Room formed in the ministry's directorates has started its work to follow up on the rates of local wheat supply for the 2022 season. Al-Musalhi pointed to the irregularity of all the committees in their work at the sites, adding that they have already started to receive quantities of local wheat, which reflects the keenness and awareness of the Egyptian farmer to supply local wheat since the start of the season. He added that the ministry has prepared well for the supply season this year by preparing more than 400 points to receive the imported local wheat in silos, hangars and other developed storage, adding the supply season continues until the end of August 2022. Al-Musalhi confirmed that the dues of the suppliers were dispersed within 48 hours, adding that he had directed the governorates to facilitate the supply operations for suppliers and farmers. He pointed out that the ministry aims this year to receive nearly 6 million tons of local wheat with an accumulated worth of 36 billion Egyptian pounds, and storage capacities are ready to receive the required quantities. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, continuing our discussion with Dr. Abu Heib. Now, sir, you've mentioned that one of the main ways to solve the wheat issue is really agriculture, and there are so many ways and areas where Egypt can cultivate and plant wheat around the country. Now, what seems to hinder or slow the process of cultivating it, and especially as well that the water issue has been an issue going on for quite a few years, obviously with the Ethiopian dam in the equation. Now, will the availability of enough water be a problem? Will it not be a problem? Will we see some sort of a resolution or an end to the Ethiopian dam? Is it a case of finding the local producers or the local farmers to start and cultivate wheat around the country now? The government itself has been giving a lot of incentives for farmers to try and start cultivating wheat. Please shed more light on this issue.
Okay. In what you just said here, you covered different areas. Number one, about the issue of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is wheat which can be produced by the salt water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Saudi Arabia is planting wheat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you as a business developer, not as an autocrat,
mm-hmm.
Sitting somewhere in the Ministry of Agriculture,
mm-hmm.
or water supply. If you go to the Faculty of Agriculture and the centers which is about developing new kind of wheats,
mm-hmm.
we have kind of wheat which can be planted anywhere. Okay,
mm-hmm.
so the solution is there. Okay, it is. We need to stop to act after the problem happens. We need to be we need to be before it. We need to think about it. There is a solution for all of that. It is not the seed.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the water. It is again and again and again a will of the person who's in charge of agriculture to solve a problem. As long as he is not a man who can handle it by his hand, why did Kamel Wazir succeed? Because he was from the Army Corps of Engineers, he doing things by his hand, he was small in ranks, then he grew up. He did it the hard way. He was not all his life in an office. Okay, we need somebody like that in the agriculture. And I'm going to go back again to what His Excellency President Sisi said to the Ministry of Agriculture. He needs to come up with, to go and open the drawers and get all of these studies about the wheat, about the way to cultivate wheat, about how to solve this problem, and he will find the solution, but they need to act. They are always coming late. A problem happens, then they start thinking. They never thought about it before. We know since Mr. Wali was the Minister of Agriculture in Egypt, he was the one who said, oh, we don't need to plant wheat, we can plant cantaloupe and we can always import wheat. He put that culture in the Egyptian personnel and who have ever taken the decision. So it is embedded. Now we need to change it. So we need somebody who can change this culture. What do you want much more than the army is going and cultivating 1 million, 2 million, 3 million faddans? This is the job of the army? No, it's not the job of the army. What does this mean? We have an agriculture minister or ministry all over it, which is not doing its job. We need to stop doing doctor, and that's why when you ask me, it is not a doctor, it's not a professor. My name is Khaled, and his name is anybody who can come from anywhere and solve the problem. He is more than welcome to solve it. The solutions are there. You want to tell me that we cannot plant wheat on the two sides of the Nasser Lake? We cannot plant them in Sudan in exchange for meat or whatever, with Uganda, with Niger, with the United States. I'm going to give you now a hint of what you're going to find in my file if you want to open it. We reached an agreement with the United States to cultivate, to be our back garden when it comes to wheat. Okay? Guess what? At that time, the wheat with the United States is a strategic commodity in the United States. And it's all the Midwest of the United States. They plant and produce wheat and corn. Okay? Guess what? Who is the biggest importer? Egypt. Okay? You as the biggest importer of that, you know that Egypt have the power to change the outcome of the election. And this is what we were told to penetrate. I'm saying here in your good show, please open the file. Open the file and see what was the plan to done. The plan started in 2013. You'll find the results in President Biden when he won the elections. He didn't win the elections by the big blue states. No. He won the elections by turning the Midwest, some of the Midwest states, one state, to be blue, and they won. How? All of these states are agriculture. And guess what? We are the biggest importers.
Dr. Abu Heib, now, when you talk about the agriculture of wheat and the rising prices of bread and all the different basic commodities, now you said it's a natural inflation to be witnessed, and maybe it's a bit of a higher sort of inflation because of the ongoing international crises as well. But do you feel that now Egypt becoming becoming an energy hub, becoming an exporter of electricity, having the natural gas, talking about renewable energy, talking about the expansion of the Suez Canal, talking about the national mega projects. Do we now have more of bargaining chips to be able to have some sort of at least some control of these prices, dealing with the international trade and the international community, and maybe having a softer sort of impact of inflation on the Egyptian citizen? I mean, we're already witnessing the availability of all the products on the shelves in spite of the deep state, in spite of the struggles or the conflicts created by the merchants.
Let me congratulate you on that great question. And I'm honored to be interviewed by someone who really know what he's talking about, like yourself.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Definitely. We need to know our strong points before we sit on a table to negotiate. And this is exactly where we are right now. And this is what I am calling to how to use these tools to influence the outcome. Okay, so some of your audience can say, oh, he's just saying that out of his mind. No, I'm talking to you as one of the certified Egyptian buyers for the commodities of Egypt. This is a number which is in 100 or 200. Mm-hmm. So I know what I'm talking about. I was honored during this time to be registered as a buyer for the Egyptian government, or a supplier for the Egyptian government all over the world. At that time in the 2013, they were talking about, go to the newspapers, go to everything. They were talking about the sugar in Egypt. And we had big crisis at that time. It reaches $730 US. Guess what? With our connections and with our effort, we succeeded to get the sugar to Egypt, $240. And at that time, a big cartel in Egypt were discovered, and we cracked that. So I'm honored to be one of the suppliers to the Egyptian government, to be an Egyptian, and I want to crack all these cartels. Talking about the hubs in Egypt, where it is, right now we are one of the biggest producers of electricity in Africa, and we do export. Our network right now, which is being done in logistics, is outstanding. We can move commodities all over, not only all over Egypt. It is the hub for Africa. So I always have that as we had the honor also to be one of the first people to nominate the New Republic. I did it on your great channel on another program, and we created also another slogan, Egypt Forward and Egypt at the Gate to Africa. What's happening right now for the Hayek Karima project, 4,500 villages at the same time are being redeveloped, reconstructed, everything, water, gas, sewerage, phone, fiber optics cable. So creating all this internet hub, we're going to be the biggest internet hub and the biggest data storage area in Africa. So whether you like it or not, anything is going to go through in Africa is going to go through us. So it was a very brilliant move, and it was worth the investment which is in it. It is just we need the time, the next, I don't want to say 12 months, the next 24 months to pass, and to hit hard on the deep state so we can get out of the bottleneck. But we do have the roads, we do have the new cities, we do have the logistics everywhere. We are making new ports right now on the Mediterranean. We have the Alexandria port, we have Abu Qir port, then we have Dekhila port, and we have Mars Matruh port. We're making a new port here again. And also on the Red Sea, what this tell you? That anything's coming to Africa, we have the easiest logistic solutions. We have no waiting time in the ports. You want to get it here, getting our roads, we can ship it to Libya, we can take it to Chad, we can take it to whatever you want through Egypt. And this is the historic part of Egypt, because it was the Darbar Bain road, which is coming from Central Africa to Egypt, and this is the, I know that we're running out of time, but this is the historic role of Egypt. We're bringing it back again. God bless our president. God bless Egypt.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as Dr. Abu Heib has mentioned, it's the efforts exerted by the presidency and the government to control the prices of basic commodities and making sure these commodities are available all over the country is a major feat, and it's all interconnected within the developmental plans taking place in the government. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this edition of the Daily Debate. And before we go, I'd like to thank my very distinguished guest, Dr. Khaled Abu Heib, the chairman of the International Cooperation Committee of the National Council for Strategic Planning. Dr. Abu Heib, it was a pleasure having you with us on the show.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for more coming up on Night International. I'm Hani Saif. Thank you for joining us.